Evening all, welcome back. Hi all, welcome to the Vanbrugh virtual pub quiz. We'll be waiting a few minutes for people to join. Probably won't be as busy as normal, as I'm sure you probably know, the Premier League has restarted. Hi Alicia. So yeah, we'll wait 5 minutes as usual to get people on board, and then we'll start. Hopefully you've all been well in the past week. As always, if you're playing, do say hello via the live chat. Evening all, welcome to Virtual Pub Quiz. We'll be starting in about 4 or 5 minutes, just letting people join in. Do say hi in the live chat. Hi Jonathan, hi Bridget. Bridget, be pleased to know there's no sports around this week. Hi Katie, you got a new profile picture from that by the looks of it. Hi Claire, hi Kevin. Hi Barbara. Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes, see how many people get on board. Hi Dollery, good to have you on board. First time we've seen you here, I just saw your message. Yeah, sorry you've been working crazy hours. Hi Nigel, hi Michaela. Just wait a few minutes. I'm not expecting as many people today as usual because I know the football's restarted and there's a game on in about 10 minutes. So thank you for joining in. Hi John. Hopefully none of you got caught in that shower earlier. Hi Dave. Might put some background music on. Hi Adrian. Yeah, I don't know. Some people said they were having trouble with the live feed. I've had text messages. Hopefully, so I'll wait for a bit longer. Put some music on. It's raining cats and dogs down here in Greenwich. Hopefully, it's a bit nicer where you are. Meant to be getting some good weather again next week, though. We'll start in a couple of minutes, guys. Apologies, got a bit of a runny nose today. Still don't know what I was waiting for, and my time was running wild in dead-end streets, and every time I thought I got it made, it seemed the taste was not so sweet. So I turned myself to face. Give you a quick rundown of what we got in round one. We've got, as always, current affairs kicking things off.
We've switched to the cryptic bands from cryptic movies, so we've got another round of cryptic bands. We've got Trivia Trail again, which we had a few weeks ago, which I'll explain when we get to. And then round 4, just a general knowledge on food and drink. I'll then tell you about the second half before the break, or just after the break. Just wait another minute and then we'll kick off. Oh, hi Matt, hi Jane, hi Julia. Matt, I think there's one round where if you don't get full marks in, I'll be, I think you'll need to go and have, well, with Jane there as well, you'll have to have words with yourself. Right, just what, a few more seconds and then we'll kick off. Hi Holly, good to have you back. No, Matt, I think you'll find it very easy. You can probably guess what the topic is. Right, guys, let's kick it off. So, same drill as usual. We have 4 rounds in the first half, 5 questions per round. We'll then have a little break at halftime, so you can top up your glasses, take a convenience break. I'll give you the answers when we come back, and then we'll do the second half of the quiz, finishing off with the music round, which these days has increased to 10 songs. As usual, if you need anything repeated, or just mention the round and question number in the comments section and I'll repeat the question. But I'll try and go through things slowly and clearly, but I know sometimes connections drop out, etc., and things don't translate too well over the web. So starting off. Hi Charlie. Right, round 1, current affairs. Quite a topical one, hopefully easy. What was the name of the slave trader whose statue was torn down during an anti-racism protest in Bristol on the 7th of June 2020? So what was the name of the slave trader whose statue was torn down during an anti-racism protest in Bristol recently? That's question 1. Question 2. Whose album Chromatica was the fastest selling album of 2020? Whose album Chromatica was the fastest selling album of 2020 so far? Question 3. Microsoft has announced that it will launch its new console in July. What will it be called? Microsoft has announced that it will launch its new console in July. What will that console be called? Question 4. On the 15th of June 2020, what types of parks were reopened to the public? On the 15th of June 2020, what type of parks were reopened to the public? And finally, question 5, very topical, or not very topical, very recent. What was the score in the Aston Villa Sheffield United game, which was the first Premier League game since the restart, which finished about 10 minutes ago? So what was the score in the Aston Villa Sheffield United game that just finished? Right, guys, that was the end of round one. Let me know if you need anything repeated. I don't know if any of you joined a bit later will need any of those questions repeated. Let me know. And a brief pause before we go on to the cryptic band names. Question 3. Microsoft has announced that it will launch its new console in July. What will that console be called? So what is the name of the new Microsoft console? Right, we'll go on to round 2. Now, we used to have cryptic films, but I've run out of cryptic film titles. Well, ones that weren't ridiculous. I wasn't left with anyone that weren't ridiculous anymore. So we've moved on to cryptic bands. So as an example, the cryptic clue would be Desert Waterhole, and the band would be Oasis. So I'm going to give you 5 clues to fairly well-known bands slash artists, and from the clue you need to give me the band slash artist. So clue 1, Wild Urban Evangelists. Wild Urban Evangelists. That clue again, Wild Urban Evangelists. Clue 2, Uncomplicated Primary Color. Uncomplicated Primary Color. Clue 3, Lumber Puncher. Lumber Puncher. Clue 4, Clergyman in a Long Dress. Clergyman in a long dress. And finally, clue 5, Raincoat bought near Blackpool. Raincoat bought near Blackpool. Those are your 5 cryptic clues for 5 cryptic bands slash artists. Let me know if you'd like any repeated. Three, Lumber Puncher. So Lumbar Puncher. 4, Claire, Clergyman in a long dress. Clergyman in a long dress. 3 and 4, Lumbar puncture. Lumbar puncture. Lumbar puncture. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got a slight worry that the roof on my apartment block may have a slight leak in it, so be checking that after today's rain. Question 4 was clergyman in a long dress. Clergyman in a long dress. So I think that's all the clues repeated. Let me know if you'd like any others repeated. Cool. Well, I'll move on to round 3, which is Trivia Trail. Now, we had this before, so there can be a series of general knowledge questions. But to help you along, 5, yeah, Katie, sorry, it has been done. 5 was raincoat bought near Blackpool. Raincoat bought near Blackpool. So Trivia Trail, there are 5 general knowledge questions, but to help you, the answers from one question lead on to the answer to the next question. So the last 2 letters from the answer to a question will be the first 2 letters to the following question. Hopefully that makes sense. So the last 2 letters of the answer to a question will be the first 2 letters of the answer to the next question. I said that is more to help you. You can, a lot of these you may be able to get just from general knowledge. So question 1 on Trivia Trail. Which author's most well-known books include Treasure Island, Kidnapped, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? So which author's most well-known books include Treasure Island, Kidnapped, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Question 2. What does the prefix micro mean? What does the prefix micro mean? As I said, as it's Trivia Trail, the last 2 letters of the first answer form the first 2 letters of this second answer. That's just to help you. Question 3, pretty straightforward. What name is given to someone skilled in making a roof from plant stalks or foliage? What name is given to someone who is skilled in making a roof from plant stalks or foliage? Question 4. Which American author wrote A Farewell to Arms in 1929? Which American author wrote A Farewell to Arms in 1929? And finally, question 5. Who became the leader of Iran in 1979? Who became the leader of Iran in 1979? So that's all the questions for Trivia Trail. Let me know if you need any of them repeated. 2. What does the prefix micro mean? What does the prefix micro mean? 5. Who became the leader of Iran in 1979? Who became the leader of Iran in 1979? 4. Which American author wrote A Farewell to Arms in 1929? All right, I think that's all the repeats done. We'll move on to round 4, which is food and drink. Question 1. If a dish is described as Florentine, with which vegetable is it prepared or served? If a dish is described as Florentine, with which vegetable is it prepared or served? Question 2. The Japanese drink sake is made from what? The Japanese drink sake is made from what? Question 3. What H is the English generic term for German white wines from the Rhine? What H is the English generic term for German white wines from the Rhine? Good work, Neil. Question 4. From which language do the words caviar, coffee, and yogurt originate? From which language do the words caviar, coffee, and yogurt originate? Question 5. Final question for this round and this half. Paella originated near which city in Spain? So paella originated near which city in Spain? Right, that's the first half of the quiz done, guys. Let me know if you need anything repeated. Maybe you joined a bit late or had a dropout in your connection. I'll stick around for a bit to repeat any questions. Otherwise, we'll take a break till about, well, depending what time I break off, probably till about 35 past. And then we'll go through the answers to the first half. Question 3. What H is the English generic term for German white wine from the Rhine? 4. From which language do the words caviar, coffee, and yogurt originate? As a clue, I don't think they're famous for their caviar. They like their coffee and they use yogurt in their cooking a fair amount as well. Right, guys, we'll take a break there then. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. So I'll leave you with a bit of music and see you shortly.
Together away, we can live with the sadness. I'll love you alone, and madness in my soul. Oh, someday, girl, I don't know when we're gonna get to that place where we really wanna go and we'll walk in the sun. But till it chance like us, maybe we were born to run. Honey, chance like us, maybe we were born to run. Come on with me, chance like us, maybe we were born to run. Out here in the fields, I fight for my meals. I get my back into my living. I don't need to fight to prove I'm right. I don't need to be forgiven. Don't raise your eyes. It's only teenage wasteland. Sally, take my hand. Travel south across land. Pour out the fire. Don't look past my shoulder. The Exodus is here. The happy walk on near. Let's get together before we get older. Teenage wasteland. It's only teenage wasteland. Teenage wasteland. Teenage wasteland. They're all wasted.
Welcome back, all. Right, let's give you some answers from the first half. So question 1, round 1. What was the name of the slave trader whose statue was torn down during anti-racism protests in Bristol? It was Edward Colston. Question 2, whose album Chromatica is the fastest selling album of 2020 so far? It's Lady Gaga. Question 3, what's the name of Microsoft's new console that they'll be launching in July? It's called the Series X. What kind of parks reopened on the 15th of June 2020? It was safari parks. And finally, question 5, what was the score in the Villa versus Sheffield United game? It finished 0-0. It was Edward Colston, Charlie. Round 2, cryptic bands. Clue 1, wild urban evangelists. Some manic street preachers. 2, uncomplicated primary colour. Simply red. 3, zoos. I'll accept zoos, Jonathan. 3, lumbar puncture. Spinal Tap. 4, clergyman in a long dress. Maxi Priest. And 5, raincoat bought near Blackpool. Fleetwood Mac. Round 3, trivia trial. Question 1, which author's most well-known books include Treasure Island, Kidnapped, and The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? It's Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson. Question 2, what does the prefix micro mean? 1/1,000,000th. 3, What name is given to someone skilled in making a roof from plant stalks or foliage? Thatcher. Question 4. Which American author wrote A Farewell to Arms in 1929? It's Ernest Hemingway. Hemingway. Question 5. Yeah, Neil, I'll repeat them as soon as I've done this. Question 5. Who became the leader of Iran in 1979? It was Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini. You can be liberal with the spelling if you... Question, the round 1 answers, Neil. 1.1. Edward Colston was a statue that got ripped down. 2. Lady Gaga's album Chromatica is the fastest selling so far this year. 3. The Microsoft console is called the Series X. The parks are open on the 15th of June 2020 as safari parks, or except zoos. And the score in the Villa Sheffield United game was 0-0. So that takes us on to round 4, food and drink. If a dish is described as Florentine, with which vegetable or is it prepared or served? Is spinach. 2. Sake is made from rice. Matt, I don't believe you. 3. What H is the English generic term for German white wines from the Rhine? It's Hock. From which language do the words caviar, coffee, and yogurt originate? It's Turkish. And question 5, paella originated from near Valencia. Question 5, this one's a bit easier. The questions are hard, but it's a bit easier for you. You got 50-50. They're true or false. So round 5 is true or false. So pens at the ready. Question 1. The city of Chicago is named after garlic. The city of Chicago is named after garlic. Question 2, true or false? An iceberg measuring above 75 meters above the sea is officially classified as Titanic. An iceberg measuring above 75 meters, measuring over 75 meters above the sea is officially classified as Titanic. Question 3. If you add together all the numbers on a roulette wheel, the total is 666. If you add together all the numbers on a roulette wheel, the total is 666. Question 4. The 13th of the month is statistically more likely to be a Friday than any other single day. True or false? The 13th of the month is statistically more likely to be a Friday than any other single day. Question 5. No country names can be typed using just the top row of the letters on a computer keyboard. So true or false? No country names can be typed using just the top row of the letters on a computer keyboard. So those are your 5 true or false questions. Let me know if you need any of them repeated. Jane, I'd forgotten, yeah, the true or false round's probably is a good round for you guys, but it's the next round that I thought you'd excel on, but you're probably quite good at this. Anyone want anything repeated before we move on to round 6? Right. In that case, I'm going to move on to round 6. Round 6 is all to do with the human body. Question 1. Which part of the body would be affected by myalgia? Which part of the body would be affected by myalgia? MYALGIA. Question 2. What part of the hand is the pollex? What part of the hand is the pollex? POLLEX. Question 3. What name is given to the yellow liquid component of blood? What name is given to the yellow liquid component of blood? Question 4. The adjective costal, COSTAL, refers to which part of the human body? So the adjective costal refers to which part of the human body? Question 5. Which part of a man can increase in size tenfold when he is excited? Which part of a man can increase in size tenfold when he is excited? Right, that's your 5 questions in round 6 on the human body. Let me know if you need any repeated. I don't know what you're talking about, Charlie. Good one, Neil. Look, that last question is nowhere near as bad as the cryptic clue for Enter the Dragon that I had a few weeks ago. On a more serious note, let me know if you need anything repeated. Otherwise, take a brief pause and we'll move on to the wipeout round. Number 2, Claire. What part of the hand is the pollex? POLLEX. Right. In that case, we'll move on to the penultimate round, the last round, which is actual questions before the music round. So wipeout round. There's a couple of people that haven't played before, so just to give you a rundown, you're going to get 5 general knowledge questions. You get 1 point for each correct answer. So if you answer 3 correct, you get 3 points. However, if you answer 4 and only get 3 right, you lose all your points. So you score 0 points for the entire round. So any one wrong answer will knock out all your points for that round. So, but you don't have to answer the question, so you can leave them blank. Hopefully that makes sense, but let me know. Question 1, round 7. Who wrote the Winnie the Pooh books? Question 1, who was the author of the Winnie the Pooh books? Two, which football team holds the record for the longest uninterrupted period in the English top flight? Which football team holds the record for the longest uninterrupted period in the English top flight? If you're a fan, you probably won't be playing this quiz at the moment. Question 3. How many players are there on the pitch during an ice hockey match? I.e., the number of years that they've been in the top flight without dropping down a division. May it be Division 1 or the Premier League. So question 3 was, how many players are there on the pitch during an ice hockey match? Just hopefully got that, Charlie. How many players are there on the pitch during an ice hockey match? On the pitch. In total. Question 4. In which year was the Magna Carta signed? In which year was the Magna Carta signed? And finally, if you ask for Barmbrack in Ireland, what would you be served? If you asked for Barmbrack in Ireland, what would you be served? Right, let me know if you need any of those repeated. Otherwise, we'll move on to the music round shortly. Right, guys, doesn't seem anyone wants anything repeated. We'll move on to the music round. So, music round, you're going to hear the intro to 10 songs. I will play the 10 songs one after another with a brief pause in between. Then there'll be a longer pause. Then I'll go through them again one by one, playing the intros again. What you need to do is give me the name of the song for 1 point and the name of the artist for 1 point. So 1 point for the song and 1 point for the artist. And there'll be 10 songs in total. Quite a mixed bag this week, I think. Well, I like to try and mix it up, but I think they are fairly varied this week. So without further ado, I'll kick off with number 1. So this is song 1. That was song 1. This is song 2. Song 3. Song 4. Song 5. Song 6. Song 7. Song 8. Nice trip back to the 80s. Song 9. And finally, song 10. So that's all 10 of the songs. I'll give you a brief pause and I'll go through those again. So let's go again. Song 1. Song 2. Song 3. Song 4. Song 5. Song 6. Song 7. Song 8. Song 9. Finally, song 10. And that's your lot. Let me know, as I said, again, I know internet connection can be a bit dodgy, so may not come through, etc., etc. If you need any of those songs repeated, I will play them. So let me know in the comments if you need any of them repeated. All right, guys, doesn't seem that anyone wanted anything repeated, so we can go through the answers to the second half. So if you're all ready, round 5, true or false? Question 1, the city of Chicago is named after garlic. That's true. Question 2, an iceberg measuring over 75 meters above the sea is officially classified as Titanic. That's false. It's classified as very large. Question 3, if you add together all the numbers on a roulette wheel, they total 666. That's true. Question 4, the 13th of the month is statistically more likely to be a Friday than any other day. That's true. Question 5, no country names can be typed using just the top row of the letters on a computer keyboard. That's false. You can type Peru. Question round 6, moving on to human body. Question 1, which part of the body would be affected by myalgia? It's your muscles. 2, what part of the hand is the pollex? It's the thumb. 3, what name is given to the yellow liquid component of blood? It's plasma. The adjective costal refers to which part of the human body? It's your ribs. And 5, which part of a man can increase in size tenfold when he is excited? It's his pupil. Round 7, wipeout. Who wrote the Winnie the Pooh books? It was A.A. Milne. Question 2, which football team holds the record for the longest uninterrupted period in the English top flight? It's Arsenal. 3, how many players are there on the pitch during an ice hockey match? 12. 4, in which year was the Magna Carta signed? It's 1215. 5, if you ask for Vanbrugh in Ireland, what would you be served? You'd get fruit cake / fruit bread. Now for the music round. So here's your 10 songs. It's Big Love by Fleetwood Mac. Question 2. Time to Pretend by MGMT. Time to Pretend. This is The Only Girl in the World, or The Only Girl brackets in the World by Rihanna. This, of course, is A Punk by Vampire Weekend. Next up, we have Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Question 6, this is, of course, Weather With You by Crowded House. Question 4 was A Punk by Vampire Weekend. 5 was Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. Then this was 6, Weather With You by Crowded House. It's the same room, but everything's different. Question 7. The artist has a musical sibling as well. It's Save Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry, father of Naya Cherry.
All we need is candlelight, you and me. And
Question 8. More Than This by Roxy Music.
I could feel every time.
And finally, probably heard it a lot, but may not know the song name. It's Young Folks by Peter, Bjorn and John. So that's Young Folks by Peter, Bjorn and John. And that's your lot. Hopefully that was a bit more varied. Be interesting to know how people did. Just as always, like to gauge if it was too easy or too difficult. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. Thanks for joining. Matt, yeah, not too bad. I think the music round was pretty varied. So I think it's been harder than it has been in past weeks, so maybe a bit too. Good work, Bridget, 36, good score. Charlie, did you want question 6-1 again, the answer? Round 6, sorry. What part of the body would be affected by myalgia? It's the muscles. 40. Oh, good work, Charlie. 27. Yeah, the music round, I did mix it up quite a lot. So some of them you would have heard them, probably didn't know what the song name was. So I'll try and make them a bit easier. Yeah, so around about the 30 mark is the sort of the average score. Good work, dolls. Glad you all had fun. I'll be back again next week. So I'll take that on board for the music round, but otherwise I'll try and keep the rest of the quiz sort of at a similar level. Everyone stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks for taking part. Thanks, Holly.